All right. Everything looks a little frozen. Which is not the energy you want. Hold on a second. Alright. Alright, boys and girls. We're gonna do some troubleshooting to start this stream off. Because it looks like nothing wants to register that it's actually running. Here's another live example of why streaming is the worst way to make content. Everybody hang on for half a second here. The stream is most likely going to go dark as I'm about to restart my streaming software. So hang tight with me. I don't know what YouTube's going to do when I kill the stream, but we're about to find out. So everyone just hold on to your hats. All right. Now you should be able to see me, or at least I assume you can see me. Let's do this. Hi everybody, I'm the Home Slice Ascend Hyperion, and I don't normally stream. I usually make my videos ahead of time. Let's make myself a little bigger. You guys have something to look at. The black screen that I assume you are seeing behind me is supposed to be the Master Chief Collection. As you can tell, it is not. And which is strange because it was literally just running a second ago. So we're going to go in here and mess with it live on the spot. Capture specific window. The Master Chief Collection. Find same executable. Isn't that great? Isn't it great when it doesn't work? MCC's running. I'll restart it. How about we do that? Otherwise, how are you all doing tonight? This Friday evening. Friday, June the 11th. Jesus Christ, we're already almost halfway through June. As Gordon Ramsay would say, fuck me. That's fucking fast. Alright. I'll do the chat roll call in a second here. You know what's hilarious about this is that right before the stream, like I've spent the last 20 minutes like making sure everything was fine. Like I did like a pre-recording and I looked at the stream output and everything and it was fine. And the moment I hit start stream, the camera died and MCC just decided it wasn't going to show up anymore. So I don't know, folks. We'll try to get it to work the best we can. I always admire the streamers who like have no technical issues, because I'm always like, how? How'd you get away with it? Alright, let me alt tab and see if we're getting an MCC, which it looks like we are. Hey, 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 hey. Alright. Well, it looks like we have game, ladies and germs. So let's do our roll call. In the chat tonight, we've got Craig the Brute, Skitty Duck, Chuck Norris, that Buckethead Gamer, Eggman Topkusu. We got Laura de Cavalero, Whoop Ass Stew. Who else is in here? Gabe the Legend, Mr. H. I see Luke Carter, Exotic Butters, Nerd at Heart. We got Darian Chavez, Machine Snow. I see Halo ODST, Lungo Scrungo, Numanoid 09, and Cole Davis. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. What we'll do a little bit is mess around. In the beginning of the stream, I always take time to troubleshoot stuff and see what works and what doesn't, and we'll do that tonight. We'll play a little MCC. It looks like you guys can hear me, right? You guys can hear me, and the game isn't too overpowering or anything like that, so that's fine. If this actually hits the fan, what I can do is just switch over to... I just switch over to what's it called? Xbox. You'll notice I forgot to install I forgot to install Halo 2 and Halo CE before doing this. I always forget that on PC I don't have everything installed. And let me pull up the chat on my phone so I can keep up with you guys. Stay in the loop, so to say. Tell me how I sound. Am I too loud? Too quiet? Too beautiful? Too ugly? I can take it. Come on. Let me know in the comments below. Alright. Getting an ad on my own channel. Disrespectful. Alright, so I've got the chat on my phone beneath me. I'll look at it kind of back and forth here throughout the night, but otherwise we're gonna... Looks like we're starting off with Halo 4. Oh yeah, come on buddy. Come on buddy. Yeah! Yeah! Come on, make it 3. No! Come on. Oh, no way! No way! Give me 5. Give me 5! Oh man. A swift reminder as to which Warthog was the strongest. It's Halo 4's. Ironically, the game where BTB kind of suffered the most is the game with the Warthog that slaps the hardest. Whoa. Oh, again? Sure. Sure thing, buddy. In a second, let me know if the game is too loud. Come on. Ah. Okay. Getting some feedback on the sound. Sounds okay. Sounds great. A little quiet. Quiet on the game. So I talked about this last stream, If it's quiet for you guys, it's literally blowing my eardrums out. Like, it's insane how different OBS. Here's the game. Oh, I gotta make sure I have game chat turned off. Poor guy. He didn't want it. He didn't want that smoke. So yeah, I would turn the game up louder for those who want it, but I'd end the stream with a migraine if I took it any higher than it is already. Oh my god, I've been playing. Hello, we are on the same team. I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2 PvP. And this feels like I'm moving in slow motion. It's so much slower. It's so refreshing to not feel like I'm gonna have a stroke partway through the match. But I notice I'm also playing like I'm playing Destiny, like I'm playing really conservative and... Come on. Whoopsie. I didn't even get one of those guys? How disappointing. I call on that sniper boy right in the middle of the mess there. Alright. Not really challenge distance for those guys, just get a little closer. Woo! Hey, thanks for the subscription, whoever that was. You're too quiet. Crank that volume up. I'm hearing two different things here. Am I too quiet? Am I too loud? What's it gonna be, y'all? Ooh, good assassination. Woo! Take the turret for a ride. I'm also concerned because I haven't seen the chat move in a little bit, so I wonder I wonder if my phone chat has stopped working. Or chat's dead, ha! Dead stream, dead channel. Did you guys, oh, you guys probably didn't hear it. Woo! Battle of the turrets, baby! Oh! Oh shit! That guy just keeps picking up the turret. Alright. Give me the butter. Oh, I can throw that through there. We're gonna stick this guy. I'm sure you all noticed I like to throw blind sticky nades because I'm always hoping for like a lucky Hail Mary on the grenade. Get him. Get him, Wolfman. Get him, Wolfman. He's back with the turret. We need to step back. They do not want us up here. Chill out, bro. Whoa! Okay. That wasn't gonna work. God, this is so loud. Can I just turn my headset down a little bit? Oh, that mutes it. That's not very helpful. Oh, you son of a bitch. Or you son of a black. Blab up, blab up. Trying to swear less on the stream. I watched part of the VOD for the last stream, and I realized that I do swear up a storm while playing video games. Sure wish I had a Spartan laser right now. Alright, let's return the favor from earlier in the game. Ooh, or we can get bombed by that Banshee immediately. What? Are they AFKing over there? Oh, that sucks. If he wouldn't have jumped. Someone in the chat, give me some confirmation on my sound. Someone mentioned they could hear me breathe, which happens. I noticed that on the last VOD too. I exhale pretty heavy, and the mic likes to pick that up nice and crisp, which I don't really notice it, you know, as it's happening, but the mic don't miss it. Ooh, come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Oh my Lord in heaven. Oh. Oh. I have a bad feeling I'm not seeing something live. I'll look at it in a second. I'll mess with that after this match. And if you guys are wondering about joining in on the match tonight, we'll play a game or two, and then what I'll do is make it so people can just join. Oh yes, you guys have been talking this whole time. My chat was just frozen. That's not what you want to hear. Yeah, because I sure was like, damn man, no one's talking tonight. I'm losing them out here. What? Did you see that guy like zoom past me? We're almost top of the team. Yeah, so anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, if you want to join tonight, what I'll do is I'll put the game on open, and on MCC, if you want to join a match, all you have to do is you go to the roster, you type in my name, and you'll have an option to join, because I'll have it set to open. So we'll play like 1 or 2 matches, just to get warmed up and let people get settled in, and I'll let people join in if they want to. Ooh, or I can blow up immediately right there. In 1993, a funny thing happened. What happened in 1993? I'm kind of scared. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head what I know to have happened in 93, and I can't think of anything that specifically pertains to that year. Comeback kill! Oh, I was on a death streak. Sorry, y'all. You're trash plus ratio. Come on, push it. Push it, baby. Push it. Holy... Right, where do I get these grenades? I'm so dead. That Halo 4 railgun does not feel very reaffirming. I do miss the Halo 5 railgun. Next kill wins. Nice. Start the game with a dub. Oh man. It sounds like a tornado in your house when you exhale. Yeah, sorry about that, y'all.
How do you like that, you fucking bears?
Oh no, I don't want that popping up on the... Can I disable voice chat too? Oh, hopefully the game is low enough to where you guys can't hear people in game chat. Let me actually go through my settings and make sure. Oh, I couldn't see the chat. because I had it set to top comments, not all, which doesn't make any sense, but apparently you can do that with the stream chat. Voice channel off. There we go. Yeah, that's great. I don't want to hear anybody. I don't want to hear anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. How do I? Yeah, so right now it's going to be on friends only. In fact, if anything, I'm probably just going to... Oh, I can't change that, so that's fine. Later in the night, I'll open it up to anybody can join, and we'll do it like that. I think I'm going to play one more match first. We want to hear random people and whatever they might say. Well, at the end of this last match, that guy said something that was not very stream friendly, so I don't want that type of thing on the stream. So as much as I would love to have you guys be able to hear game chat, we're just not going to do it because Halo gamers have not moved past the year 2002. In Hexels with extreme intent. Yo, I can't help it. That's just how I mean, what do you want me to do? Not breathe? I'm just gonna die. That's it. That's what you guys want. You want me to die. Facts. That's what some people want me to do. "2007 mic chat," yeah. Every now and again I'll watch just videos on YouTube, like recordings of old Modern Warfare 2 search and destroy lobbies. And those always kill me. I guess that wasn't the right lobby for me. Thanks, game. Guess we didn't need that. Modern Warfare 2 game chat? Yeah. On a positive note, excited for Infinite. Yeah, I'm excited for Infinite. I like Halo, don't I? I'd have to be a fake Halo fan to not be excited for Halo Infinite. I like eating sawdust? No, not normally. I'm on a no dust diet these days. After my last dust excursion, had to cut the dust out of my life. I really like your opinion on certain things in the weapon. What is that, weapon design? Yeah. Good thing somebody does, because not everybody does. That Splazer video, dude, has got some heated people in my comments, man. You would think I told some people to literally crucify their own mothers with that video. I think the funniest thing about it is that a really common reoccurring comment on that video is something along the lines of, "We should never take things out of Halo. We cannot remove... We shouldn't get rid of it. We can't remove guns from Halo." And it's funny to me because I'm like, have you guys been playing this franchise? Like, oh, get in, dude. I'm like, we've been removing shit from Halo for 20 years. Like, you guys are a little late to the don't remove weapons party. I mean, I guess if you want to start now, sure, but it just seems funny to me. People act like weapons have not been taken out of this franchise before. And then what really gets me, here's a fun thing, as somebody... Oh my god. Yeah, we're not dying to a Spartan laser, buddy. Sorry. Do you know who I am? I'm a send Hyperion. I want the Spartan laser gone. I'm about to get this guy, though. No! That's alright, he sucks. Ready, this guy. Oh, fuck, what was I saying? Oh, people are like, you can't get rid of the Spartan laser. It's an iconic Halo 3 weapon. Like, bro, Halo 3 is 7 years into the franchise, right? The iconic is like the plasma rifle. Iconic is the sniper. Okay, the Spartan laser is just another gun in the pool. Just because you like Halo 3 doesn't make it like any more important than anything else. Which Halo YouTubers started the whole iconic thing? Isn't that somebody's like tagline? They say iconic a lot. I should blame them for all the comments I have about the iconic Spartan laser. Like, Get out of here. Play a different game. All these Halo 3 kids. They don't know what it was like back in the day. What? Where's my hijack? I stood on the side of that. Hidden Xperia. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, whatever. You know, it's funny because when you think about stuff like that, he may not have intended for people to actually try to use the term iconic in literal conversation, but it's just how it turned out. So he's the one that coined the phrase, but he might not have meant it to be that way. I got a burp, but it's not coming out. There's a fair chance that one day I'll say something in passing, and people will use that as a means to argue with each other about Halo. And that's how I'll know I've made it. I just made a whole video about this. Did you guys see the fucking Spartan laser? Because I didn't. How was I supposed to beat that? Heads up, I couldn't. Tank over there. But yeah, anyway, the people calling the Spartan laser iconic because it's from Halo 3 was kind of funny to me. Halo 3 is the game that really started to really change the Halo formula. Halo 3 did a bunch of stuff that really modified the gameplay experience. It's funny to me that so many people pretend that the first 3 Halo games were rinse and repeat copies of each other. I mean, it's just not true. Even Halo 2, I'll talk about it a little bit today, but this is one of my big videos coming up for this summer. I'm going to talk about how Halo 2 basically entirely changed the design course of the franchise. Halo 2 unapologetically and without warning completely set Halo on a different path. So that'll be a fun one. And I think it's especially going to be fun because we're reaching a point in time in the franchise where there aren't a lot of people who remember the Halo 2 days. We're hitting that point where the older fans are the Halo 3 and Halo Reach kids. So when you talk about Halo CE or when you talk about Halo 2, it's kind of almost like a history lesson. Because you're like, oh, I remember in 2004. But yeah, man, Halo 2 was transformative for the series. I honestly can tell you that the modern Halo experience would not have existed without Halo 2's commitment to developing a more aggressive multiplayer experience. And the rest is history from there, so we'll get there this summer. That'll be a topic. I wonder sometimes about some other... Yeah, I was just talking about, we're reaching the point where it's Halo 3 and Halo Reach kids. It very much is so like that. Oh, alright, let's go insta-kill the Banshee. Just gotta wait for it to fly by. I hear it. Hear it flying. I'm waiting for it to come up on the radar is what I'm actually doing. Before I throw myself out there and get exposed. Yeah, pretty soon we're going to hit a tipping point where the majority of the fan base is made up by people who entered the franchise at Halo Reach as compared to the original Halo trilogy. So that'll be an interesting tipping point, and I think we're already starting to see it happen. I think the Halo 3 kids are kind of on their, not deathbed is not the way to put it, but they're reaching a point where they're no longer making up the majority of the player base. So it'll be fun to see what happens when the changing of the guard occurs. Stunt on a jetpacker really quick. Because then what you'll get, so right now a lot of the most popular content creators are people who are yeah, Halo 3 is my favorite, or I started at yada yada. So you have a lot of the Halo 3 kids who are in charge of the content creation scene right now. Some people a little older than that, but eventually the new big content creators are going to be the Reach kids. So it might be interesting to watch how Halo content kind of evolves over the next couple years here as people currently running the scene kind of age out of it and a new brand of popular creator kind of rises up. Because if I'm being honest, and I'm not gonna name any names, and I'm not gonna call anybody out or say anything like that, but I'm gonna wager you about $5 that in 3 or so years, the top Halo content creators, I don't think a lot of them are going to be around anymore. It's just it's the nature of things. When Infinite comes out, there's going to be a new breed of top creators. So might be fun. I mean, Halo 5 was the same way. Like, the guys who are on top right now are on top because of Halo 5's changing of the guard, right? Some of the previous people aged out, and then new people shifted in. So, if you are currently a Halo content creator yourself, and you're just starting out, and you're worried about how you're not popular now, that can change, That can change. I know I'm playing like ass right now. It's because I'm talking too much. I can't talk and play at the same time. I've got the brain of a cow, so... Oh, no, you don't, you motherfucker. Bunch of Halo creators on the rise. Follow them currently on all different Halo games from C to Reach, even Halo 4. Yeah, it'll be good to get new perspectives. Like I said, I'm not going to name any names or call any particular creators out. Just, I think it'll happen on its own, it's natural. Why is there an enemy blip? Oh. I thought that blip was coming from that body. I mean, so here I'll call myself out, like even me, right? I don't think, there's going to be new Ascent Hyperion videos in 5 years. You feel me? This is like a timed gig, and I respect that. I understand that about what I do and who I am. That's fine. You're never sad because something is over. You're happy because it happened. So.
5 minutes remaining.
5 minutes remaining. Ha ha! Ha ha! I missed. Oh, I didn't do terrible. Is this the mode where the score is super multiplied, though? I want to play with the boy Ascent. I feel you. I don't mean to make you sad, Laura. Hey, thanks, Gooby Goofer. Gorsh. Alright. Let's try to get some people in here. We're doing it live! How do I change my privacy? I'd like to switch this, please. Oh, a keyboard. Can't you have it set to open? I'm pretty sure one time I joined a guy at MCC like this. I just typed in his name and I was able to find him. Because I don't think I added that guy as a friend. All right, let's get up to 7 people in here. Let's do that, okay? Let's go to find player. If you want to invite, let's see that name in the chat. Please do not spam so I can... We're going to try Horizon first. Alright, we got one. One invite has been sent. I hope these work. And then, you know, if someone is waiting and you want to see if you can join the other way, if you go to find player, just type in ascend Hyperion and see if you find me. You might have to do ascend underscore Hyperion because I'm on Steam, but I don't know. I don't know about that just yet. We got Horizon in here. Okay, so this method works and is slow and ugly, but we got Alex, EDM. See, okay, so this guy's status is joinable. How'd you do that? Glizzy? Settings. Network. Relays off. Why would I want to join the Southeast Asia server? Maybe if I start us off in a... Here, if I move over to custom multiplayer first, I don't know, I gotta put this in the reach. I just want to see if I can change my session to be open so people can just join. I love it when things aren't simple. It's the little things that I expect to be simple and aren't. Okay. Why do you think so many gamers stop gaming sometime in their 20s? Because you get a full-time job and you have a kid and you get a dog and your priorities change. You know, your life develops. Kind of one of the caveats with gaming is that in order to do it, you have to have free time. And you know, if you're someone who's going to pursue a career and a family life, it takes up time. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's just kind of how it goes. I just think, you know, you don't think about it when you're younger. You don't think about like how much free time you actually have, and then how fast that changes with a job. Or maybe, you know, you start school too, and maybe you just lose interest. You know, some people just aren't as into it as other people. The mistake is assuming there's something wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? As far as my like surveys on the Halo community goes, and like looking at my viewership statistics, most Halo fans are kind of like between the ages of 17 to 25. That's where the biggest chunk of Halo fans is at least ones that get like involved and are at least watching on YouTube. Okay. This is a very slow and ineffective way to do this. I'm so sorry, y'all. This is not very intriguing content. Thank you guys for rocking with me, though. Alright. Back and invite another one. What are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got room for 2 more. It's 7. We got room for 1 more player, and that 1 more player is going to be Turtle Plop. So you guys will be my first rotation of people. Or Turt Plop, not Turtle. That dyslexia just hit real different right there. Where it hit real hard. Oh, here, hold on. I looked at the... I looked at the stream and I could see I was getting absorbed into a ray of light. I looked over at the camera and it was basked in sunlight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, Plop, you should have an invite, assuming I actually sent it just now. I don't know. I don't know if I clicked invite. We'll do it one more time. Alright. Plop, you have a couple seconds to join. If not, it's going to somebody else. notifications of what's happening. Love your content and perspective, dude. Best Halo channel. Aw. Thank you, Nerd Supreme. That's very nice of you to say. Much appreciated. Alrighty, you poor sods. Everybody jiggle your sticks or move your mouse. I see Machine So is sleeping and Turp Plop is sleeping. Is low-key like a good feature to like keep AFKs out, but it's also annoying if you're trying to run a lobby. Come on, Turp Plop. Move those sticks, buddy. Move those sticks, or else I gotta kick you. Don't make me do it, Plop. Don't make me be that guy. Plop. Alright. It appears Turp Plop is not at his controller, so he's gonna have to get put on the back burner for now. Let me go back up and see who's after Plop. RP Plop. I'm sorry, buddy. Everybody else, here we go. You can always rejoin later, Plop. I don't know if you... I don't know what happened to you, friend, but... we can always pick you up later. I remember another streamer having the normal process. This is certainly different. What was with the light? Yeah, so I have a window off to this side of me, and there's this thin slit where the sun sets and it could just get right through, and it was shining right on the camera. So, yeah, I was getting absorbed. I was actually ascending for a second there, y'all. It was about to happen live. Yeah, poor ploppers. I saw Laura's comment about college. Yeah, man, college is no joke. Some of the regulars here know, so, you know, for my college education, I worked through a lot of it. At my peak, I was working 2 jobs and also taking classes. And they asked me, like, okay, well, were you really busy? And I said, well, ironically, I had more free time when I was working 2 jobs and taking some classes than I did when I ended up dropping my jobs and just taking all classes. Fuck. So, college is no joke, especially depending on what you're going for. We on Halo 3 now, baby. The iconic Halo 3 experience. Where is our flag? Oh, it's in there. Okay, cool. So yeah, if any of you are currently in college, some words of advice. Take it seriously. The better you do the early on, the easier it is for you later on. And, you know, it's hard. Some people, they'll make it look easy. Some people will make you feel bad for struggling. But you should always understand that, 1, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And 2, if it isn't challenging you, you're not gaining anything. So, you can be frustrated in the time, or, you know, you can feel a little overwhelmed. Just understand that, you know, it's meant to be hard. And if you can overcome that difficulty, that means you've improved. As long as you're actually... Some people overcome difficulty by cheating. Don't do that, but... You know, if you're actually working hard and you know, giving it real effort. I'll tell you the big thing I had to figure out when I started college is that I thought I was putting in work. I was not. I had the wrong definition of education going into college. I was never challenged in high school. It was really easy. And I got to college and thought that everything I did in high school was going to work. Like, you know, putting in minimal effort and getting maximum output was going to be the case. No siree. So part of it for me is I had to relearn how to learn. I had to change fundamentals about myself. That's valuable to me. It was hard as fuck. It was not easy. It kicked my ass. It took me a little minute to figure it out. But probably one of the most valuable things I learned in college was how to learn. Get lasered. Fucking guest. Oh, we got somebody coming. Oh, he's trying to grab Invis. Where is he? Is he beneath me? Hey, don't you throw shit at me. Keep on rolling here. Let's see if we can pick this guy off. What? Alright. Oh, wrong game! I pressed my Destiny melee button. Oh my god. That was embarrassing. That would have been such a clean ninja, and I totally whiffed it. What's my major? My degree is in civil engineering. I have 2 minors, one in communication studies, and another in leadership communication. That's my college education. And it was not a cakewalk. Double fucked because I'm sure it would have been easier if it wasn't all online. Never wanted a vaccine so much in my life. Yeah, online school, man, it's not a joke. And it's partially because a lot of, educators, they didn't know how to do online schooling. And some stuff is just better in person. Some stuff is irreplaceably on person or in person. Laser! Get off! Get off! I keep pressing my Destiny buttons for everything. I wasn't having this problem in Reacher and Halo 4, but I got on this game and fuck it. Now I'm just doing everything. Did you get your ring? Oh, like Order of the Engineer. I did not do that. Because of COVID, there was not an Order of the Engineer like ceremony. So kind of sucks. It was just one of the casualties of COVID. When I would have did it, there was like full COVID protocol, so nothing was happening in person, like ever, anywhere. At least nothing education related. The people in my town didn't care, but. Shotgun? Okay. Let's get into it. Where are you? I see you on my radar. Oh, hold on. We got a pile up down here. We have a chance to... Oh! Okay, whiffed it. Alright, now we just hope for some chasers. Hope for some chasers. What? Who's in there? So I'm really playing like it's Destiny, man. I don't know what's going on this match. I'm like doing all the wrong strats and all the wrong inputs. That guy came right for me, man. Turning 30 in August, I talk about and watch gaming content with people more than I actually get to play. As you get older, your priorities change. You game less and get selective about what you play. I agree. That's exactly what I was saying earlier. It just happens, it's a natural progression of things. And I'm not saying like gaming will completely disappear from your life, but you just don't have 14 hours a day to pour into gaming, Not like before. I remember in high school I used to like pull all all-nighters and shit. Just stay up gaming all night. I could not even imagine. I couldn't imagine doing that now. Jesus. Instead, I stay up all night drinking. Ooh, we got a shooter. Ooh, okay. I did not mean to throw that power drain. Good hit, Machine Snow. That's how you take that guy out. Come here. Woo! Ooh, get down. Here he comes. He wants blood. No! As you want to make a brain or Doom Eternal. You know, so I'm gonna surprise some people in the chat. I thought Doom Eternal was really boring. Like, it was cool as hell for like the first 15 minutes. And then I remember, I don't know if I said it out loud or said it to the person next to me, but I was like, wow, this is actually kind of boring. It just got so repetitive. And I found myself like wanting it to be over. I was like, God damn, can this mission like be? I wasn't having fun anymore. I was just bored with it. I was like, there's nothing really new happening. So I know a lot of people are into like all the glory killing and the, you know, melees and stuff, but it got repetitive to me. So I did not finish Doom Eternal. I got through the third mission. And I was like, dude, I'm just totally not interested anymore. But I didn't pay for it. I got it off Game Pass, so. Nothing lost on my end. Hey, boys, they're pushing hard. They're coming for the flag. Ooh. Don't mind me. I'm just being cheeky. Again, I went for my Destiny melee again. I may or may not like hyper violence, yeah. The music was always pretty hype. It's just the gameplay was too repetitive for me. From it's one thing if it's a repetitive multiplayer experience, but for that to have been the campaign, I was just like, or the story, it just lost me. Couldn't get into it. I will make a confession, and I'll say recently, I've gotten back into and have been playing a lot of GTA 5. Like an unhealthy amount of GTA 5. I've been on vacation from work recently. So just had a bunch of time to myself, really, and I got back in the GTA 5 with some friends on PC. I played it a lot on Xbox, but then it was on sale on PC for like $10 or something like that, so I picked it up. I like GTA 5. I enjoyed it a lot. Oh my god. Again, why do I keep pressing my wrong melee button? Alright, let's get easy triple killed. Hey, Quill. What's up, Crimson? Kinda late for you, buddy. Or early. Fuck, at this rate. Poor guest. What? It's like that guy knows I'm the Spartan laser video person, and he's like, I'm gonna always laser him. I got this ottoman underneath me. Why do you use centered crosshair instead of lowered? Because lowered crosshair is whack. Holy shit, MCC made me realize that lowered crosshair is one of the worst things that Halo ever installed. Oh my lord in heaven, bro. As someone who played these games, you know, for countless hours on the 360, I can't believe I tolerated lowered crosshair. It's just so whack. I like centered much better. I think centered is also better for a modern FPS experience. I remember some Halo YouTuber was on and on about how like true Halo is supposed to be lowered crosshair, and I'm like, dude, you guys are literally just scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of things to talk about. Or be upset about is what I should say. Go, grenade, go. Oh, that was right on the money. Oh, that was a little too cheeky. Yeah, FOV is another big thing. This game's original FOV is unbearable. I mean, honestly, when I got Halo 3 on PC, I would try to go back on Xbox and record footage because at the time it was easier for me to record footage on my Xbox. And I couldn't play. I was like, this is unbearable. I can't see anything. I feel like everything's moving super accelerated. Like my aiming didn't feel right. I was like, dude, how could I ever have done this? And I remember a conversation from, I want to say 2015 or 2016, where people were talking about why Halo 3 had such a low FOV. And if my memory serves, I feel like the reasoning was because the lowered FOV allowed for less things to be on the screen at once, which is actually needed because Halo 3 would have had visual performance issues otherwise. I don't know how legitimate that is, but that was the conversation that was being had. And you can actually... There's a similar... There's a similar thing on Halo 5 where Forge maps would have better performance with lower FOV, the lower FOV filter turned on because there was less stuff on the screen. So yeah, I don't know if that's the true story for Halo 3's setup, but good game, boys. Alright, who do we lose? Looks like we lost 2 people. We lost... Yeah, we lost 2 people. Let's see. So we lost Fish and somebody else. So if you guys want to join, I guess put your gamer tags back in there. Turn your FOV to 0 and play, or you are a baby. Bucket, I'm pretty sure you were an actual baby when I was playing this game when it was new. You might have been an actual newborn when I was statting kids in 2007. You better watch out. Okay, let's get some people in here. Oh my lord, come on, mouse, let's do it. Did we also lose Machine Snow? Is that one of the people that we lost? Yeah, okay. We'll get Machine back in here because... Machine Snow, 5279. Any of you guys in here watch Shyway at all? Any Shyway viewers? Because if you do, you might be happy to know that I had a great conversation yesterday with Shyway about Halo, and you can expect to see a collab from the two of us coming up on your feeds. Not this weekend, but weekend after, yeah. So, I know some people for a while have been asking for a Shyway and a Ascent Hyperion collab. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got room for one more. Who else did we lose last match? Is there? I see. Looks like Hawk Nye is gonna take our other place. So you guys are going to be good for another match, and then we'll do a rotation. Okay. So when Hawk Knight joins, we'll get going. Nice, everybody juggle your sticks. Everybody's got to get unslept. It looks like it's just Nerd at Heart sleeping right now. Yeah, Shyway has a lot of videos talking about movement in the Halo series. We had a pretty good conversation. So that was part of what our conversation was about. Was we were talking about Halo 5's evolution of movement in Halo and how that translates to changes in the combat experience. Nerd at Heart, if you don't move your controller, I will have to kick you. I'm sorry. 'Cause you are on sleep mode, brother. Do you like keyboard and mouse more or controller? Also, do you think one is better than the other? I use controller because I don't like this. I don't like doing this. I like to sit. I'm not showing you guys now. I like to sit like this when I play. I like to like really kick back and be way out there. Alright, Alex EDM and Nerd at Heart are on sleep mode. Alex EDM, you can move your sticks, but Nerd, I'm gonna have to get rid of you, buddy. Sorry, Buster. Unless you had just moved your stick right as I kicked you. Alex EDM, you too. Okay, Alex EDM moved. I'll play. Connecting to server to get latest matchmaking data. Oh, MCC's going down. Okay, well, Nerd, I'll give you a chance to join. Nerd at Heart, were there numbers in your name, Nerd at Heart? Hurry up. While MCC has the servers down. MCC becoming Destiny. Yeah, about to get rabbited out here. I'll join the next game. Or you can hurry. Okay. 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 What do you mean connecting to... What? I got good news, everybody. We're gonna go to custom games for a second because the servers aren't working. And we got to keep this train rolling. Part of what we're doing tonight, I'm just kind of recording B-roll. Stuff that I use in my videos as I'm talking, stuff I put in the background. Oh, I don't have anything bookmarked. Damn, what a shame. We're doing it live. We are doing it live. Come on, MCC. Don't do this to me. I already hate streaming. It says please wait, so I don't know. What GPU do you have? You don't want to know. I have a GTX 1050 Ti. Old. I think I built my computer in 2017. And I wanted to upgrade recently, but the GPU market is in shambles right now. For example, to buy my current graphics card again today would have cost me almost as much as what I built my entire PC for in 2017. Think about that. Like, that is absolutely not okay. This is contacting server. We're just gonna kind of do something to slot time over. Who's got custom games? Jade, anything in your file share? Oh, it would have to be on PC. I remember now. I remember this issue. Sorry, everybody. I'm thinking with my brain. I'm just gonna throw something on, just so we're not sitting around for the whole time. Oh, Horizon has some. Ooh. Like ones that are popular. Ow. Download mod prop hunt. I don't know if we want stuff like that. I was hoping for some like generic stuff like Halo's World or you know, the likes. What's up, Jade? What do you need, buddy? Yeah, so I play on a 1050 Ti and everything looks good. I mean, these games are also pretty old, so if the 1050 Ti can't run them, nothing can. What's something quirky in this game, boys and girls? Let's just play Waterfall. You know, I actually haven't really played on this map a lot. So, we're just going to play a little FFA. Nobody rage. Don't take it too seriously. We're just going to do a little free-for-all. I think a spider bit me. Mining, and also recently the metal that was used to make electronics got higher. New eggs sometimes has good deals. Yeah, building a PC right now is pretty hard. Not where I want it to be. Y'all doing customs? Let me join now. Well, we're just trying to kill time because apparently MCC is down right now. So we're just making it work. Doing it live. Oh, I missed the Laura person saying goodbye. I was scrolling back up through the chat. You know, I kind of got around on this map during the flight, but I actually haven't seen it kind of come in the matchmaking rotation when I really think about it. Ooh. Aw, you lucky. You lucky duck. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the GPU situation is going to get any better unless companies that sell GPUs start regulating purchases. Like, here's the thing about, you know, NVIDIA and all them. They pretend like they care about the customer, but they're not, you know. To them, 100 sales is 100 sales. They're not concerned if that's 100 cards to one person or 100 cards to 100 people. All they know is that they just made a lot of money. So, and I mean, that's what they're going to be concerned about at the end of the day. They're not losing money by chip shortages, you know what I'm saying? They're gaining off of it. They're not going to regulate, you know, how many purchases you can make per person. So, truthfully, that would be the quickest and most effective way for this problem to sort of dissolve. What? Oh my god. And I just doubt that that's gonna happen. You know, it doesn't matter how bad the problem is right now. As you guys can tell, I'm struggling to find any opponents on this map. I mean, it's neat looking and everything, but it'd sure be nice to fight somebody. Where is everyone? May cloud gaming save us all. Cloud gaming's got a way to go. Poor Quill. He started teabagging. I don't know if he was teabagging somebody or asking me to stop. Ooh, I had my finger on the trigger, baby. I felt that, man. I was ready to pull on you. Cool little spritz on the waterfall. Where is he? Sorry, Quill. Oh, you melted me. You can stick your grenade, jump to the ledge, and the flight at waterfalls OP. Kinda wish it stayed. Yeah, weren't people were like breaking out of this map, I'm pretty sure. You could get out of this map with fairly little effort. Whoop! I'm pressing my destiny buttons, I don't know why. It's B to melee. It's B to melee. It's B to melee. Good nade. Ooh, that burns fast. Oh, good stick. In 3 years, I don't think there'll be any Halo content creators. No, that's not true. There's content creators for every game. So on a different stream, I made like a passing like observation and passing joke. You know, there's a content creator for any game. What was I playing? I think I was just playing stuff one day, and I was like, think about it. There's somebody who's the most popular content creator for this game. What was I playing? Because it was something kind of like weird and campy. But no, there'll always be Halo content creators. Now, how big they are, that might change. I think it was so during my video about women who play Halo, Bucket Vass, one of the guests, pointed out that even at the highest levels of content creation, like for example, there's several Minecraft YouTubers with multi-million person subscriber bases. There's Minecraft YouTubers with millions of subscribers. The most popular dedicated Halo channel, Halo follower, doesn't even have a million. What, he has 700,000 or something like that? And that's after how many years? So there is this thing, since Halo is more of a niche game, there aren't any really big ticket content creators. So that's something also to consider. At the highest levels of content creation in this community, these are people with only like maybe 100,000 subscribers. Like if you have a 100,000 subscriber Halo channel, like you're big in the community. You know what I'm saying? Even channels like Installation, you know, OO, what, he's got 60,000 or something like that. I could be wrong, but you know, this is a channel without even 100,000, and that's still like, this is a bigger name, you know. Are you gonna react to the Xbox showcase? Probably not. I'm not really big into reacts and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, good game, everybody. It was fun. Let's see if we can get back into matchmaking. That's fine. I mean, this is good still for B-roll too. Does anybody else want to join? Get your gamer tags in the chat. We'll send some invites out. No, you guys probably won't see an E3 reaction from me. Shyway was asking me if I was going to make a video about the Halo news, and I told him, truthfully, not unless they like show me something really substantial. I won't have anything to talk about. Like, I just can't, you know, I can't pull up a trailer and play it on repeat and pretend like I know what's, you know, what the real game is like. That's the big thing, is that, you know, I don't like to speculate. I don't feel like anybody is really gaining too much if I'm just sitting here speculating. Some people are interested in my ideas, maybe, but I don't know. It's just not my type of content. I wish it was. It'd be, man, it'd be so much easier to give you guys a video every 3 days if I did that, but why can't I invite you? Oh, hold on, I know why. Because we have to go back to custom multiplayer. Yeah, so unless the stuff we get on Sunday is really substantial, don't expect me to say too much about it. I can't invite you, dude. It's not even letting me invite more people now. Max player count 8. Why? Why is the max player count 8? At first, it was kind of funny with like the weird issues, but now it's actually starting to irritate me. Because I shouldn't be having this much difficulty getting people into a match. Like, this is almost unacceptable. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we might want to rotate. If you've been in for a couple games, like if you played at least 3 matches or like 2 or 3, if you want to go ahead and rotate out and I get new people in, that'd be nice of you. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually kind of irritated right now with MCC. It's kind of been giving me nothing but grief today, and that's just not acceptable. I understand like things that don't impact the experience. I don't really care about those, but this is kind of like a pretty this is a pretty integral part of the gameplay experience, playing with other people. Let me scroll back up here. Pardon my small rant there, y'all, as I vent my frustrations with Halo, the Master Chief Collection. More like Halo, the Little Beef Collection. Ha! Look for the subscriptions. I hear them. I'm hear them rolling through. I don't know if you guys can hear it on the stream, but whenever I get a subscription, the announcer goes, "Wingman." I think I have the sound turned off on it right now because it's kind of bugged out for the stream. I'm also just I'm sending these invites in the order that I receive them, so. In the order they appear in the chat. We got Robert Dobb. I just hope whatever's shown on Sunday, I don't want it to be a cinematic trailer. I want to see a lot of pretty tangible gameplay. Here's what I really want. I want something that's going to get people to stop super speculating and asking for a bunch of random crap. I feel like we're at a point right now where people know so little about the game, where they're just asking for so much minutia, and they're just assuming they're gonna get XYZ because of some random blog post. Like, if I had a dime for every time someone in a comment told me, "Oh, they mentioned in 10 years we're gonna have everything," I don't really care about 10 years from now. What I'm most interested in the moment is what I'm gonna get, in the fall when the game comes out, I think, or whenever they said it's coming out. All right, if they've even said it. I keep thinking November, but I might be thinking about a different game. At any rate, I just want people to like have a good example of what's going to happen when the game launches. I think that'd be the most healthy thing for the game right now, is people having an awareness of what they're buying. Some people might feel differently, but I honestly think right now it's time for 343 to reel in the speculation. It's time for 343 to like put all the guesswork to rest. It's time to take all these random ass videos, these random ass blogs, and finally say, no, this is what Halo Infinite is. Because if they don't do that soon, we're going to get to launch, and you're going to have years of people speculating and building up this false rhetoric for what the game is going to be like, and it's not going to be healthy for the release of the game. So I just really hope 343 takes this opportunity to market the Halo Infinite that they've made. Not what Ascent Hyperion wants, not what Late Night Halo wants, not what you know, any content creator wants what they made. So then we can we can talk about that instead, you know. Let's do isolation. And let's do. Sorry, y'all. We're just gonna have to do a couple like random game modes because. Juggernaut. Yeah, we'll do Juggernaut. How often do you play Juggernaut? Never, right? Go back up. Any more thoughts for people? Stormy Ace, currently the game is only letting me have 8 people in the lobby. I don't know why, but that's what it's doing. So sorry y'all. We're gonna have to take it one session at a time. Saying no elite / dual wielding was a good idea. I wish they kept the honesty up. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, part of it is they're I wouldn't say they're afraid of what people are gonna say. They just, oh, I'm Juggernaut first, baby. They just want to make sure that they say the right thing at the right time. I think. I just think there's a time limit on that. You know, they. Well, we're in a custom game right now, so there's no like. There should be no limit. Like 16, yeah, should be the limit, but I shouldn't have to have a game mode enabled. I'll get his ass. Get him. If I can get down here. Who's the Juggernaut? Get him! He's blind! Get him! He's blind! Oh! So yeah, that's my take on the Halo Infinite stuff. What do I think of games with 32 or even 64 players on a single server? You're talking about like Battlefield and stuff like that. That's cool and all. Like large scale conflicts, those are always cool. I think you gotta do them. It's like anything else, right? Anything is cool if you do it right. It might be cool to have that in Halo. It's pretty important to understand that Halo and Battlefield are kind of fundamentally different. But okay, I should be going after the Juggernaut. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed if Halo got a mode like that. I mean, that's a pretty low volatility addition to the franchise. It's kind of hard to mess something like that up. Just have a map that's big enough. No, I killed myself. I have a passive interest in Battlefield. I think it's neat and all. I'm not like in love with the franchise or anything, but it's okay to play. It's neat enough. I want to say a little closer to like January of this year. I actually downloaded Battlefield 4, I think it was, on my Xbox. And I played it a pretty decent amount. For kind of like the first time, I never really played Battlefield 4. And that was fun. I don't think Halo is incapable of a 16, like a 32 player mode or a 64 player mode. Just, here's the question you gotta ask. You know, is a 32 player BTB more interesting than like a 32 player Halo Battle Royale? You know what I'm saying? Is it more interesting than Invasion? Is it more interesting than Warzone? The questions that the designers have to ask is, you know, where do we put our development time? If we're making a mode that accommodates 64 players, are people going to play, you know, 64 player BTB more or 64 player Battle Royale more? Or are they going to play, you know, 12 on 12 Invasion? Or are they going to want, you know, something else? So that's the question you got to ask. I think is what that comes down to. The developers kind of have this responsibility to figure out what people are most interested in, not necessarily what's easiest. Alright, we queued back in the matchmaking. Jesus Christ, MCC. Ascend, are you planning on doing this on the weekends moving forward? Maybe. I don't think I'm going to have a set stream schedule. I'll stream off and on. I'll have streams every now and again, but I wouldn't count on a stream every Friday or like every Saturday. It'll just be whenever it works for me. I wonder what it'd be like to have NPCs spawning and attacking points on the map like is done in MOBA games. Hi, it's the first time that I come to a stream. Maybe you have already answered many times, but I would like to know what's your favorite Halo? Hi there, El Sergio. My favorite Halo game is Halo 2, especially from a campaign standpoint. I think Halo 2's campaign is kind of a narrative peak for the franchise. I don't think the campaign got that good from a writing standpoint again until Halo 4. So that's my personal take. I'll be the first person to tell you that Halo 2's multiplayer experience is probably the most unforgiving and ill-balanced in the entire franchise. To the point where in modern day, Halo 2's multiplayer experience is pretty, not fun, I would say. But that being said, Halo 2 is my favorite. Which is part, you could, if you ever wondered why I can easily talk about, I can be so mean to all the Halo games, it's because I'm not invested in the Halo 4 versus Halo 3 versus Halo Reach, rhetoric. I like all the games, and I dislike all the games, if that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? I have things I like about each Halo game, and I have things I dislike about each one. But I always like the games more than I dislike them. For the exception of Halo CE. Halo CE I would just rather never play again. But that being said, I'm never needlessly mean to Halo CE in my, you notice in my videos, I don't think I've ever seen anything negative about Halo CE. Just because that was never the point of the script, you know what I'm saying? Never in any video was it pertinent for me to sneak in that I don't like Halo CE. It's because I've played every Halo game so much, I feel so in tune with what's wrong with each game. And because I understand what's wrong, I can, in contrast, appreciate what's right. I think sometimes people are kind of scared to acknowledge that no game is perfect. And people kind of pretend like the longer you play a game, the more liable you are to protect it. I think, if anything, the longer you play a game, the more qualified you are to dissect it and to really digest it on a higher level. So, yeah, I never really go into any Halo game thinking I have to protect it with my life. Each Halo game, I'm like, yeah, here's why this one sucks, and here's why this one's good. I could tell you both for each one. My man, what my man CE do to you? I don't think CE is fun, dude. I think CE is definitely a product of its time. I think it is the end result of a massive design change late in a game's development cycle. I talked about this on 1 Minute Halo, but Halo CE was supposed to be a little more akin to what Destiny is now. Halo CE was supposed to be open world, a little more RPG-ish in its design, much more open-ended from a story perspective, and kind of late in the game, or late in the design phase, they switched it to a linear first-person shooter. In fact, it was supposed to be third-person originally. And while they were able to make a linear first-person shooter, a lot of the work they put into having an open-world RPG could just not be removed. In Halo CE, you spend so much time walking back and forth in these fairly empty level worlds, because originally you were supposed to, like, you were intended to have taken this wide open world and explore it, you know, complete different quests and objectives in the world at your own free will. But when you're told to go from one end of a canyon to the other end of the canyon, back to the first end of the canyon, through a long gray hallway, that's boring. You know, especially by modern standards. So, I don't think CE aged well. And I mentioned this earlier on the stream, but Halo 2 represented a very significant change in the Halo shooter experience. And it's really at Halo 2 where the modern Halo experience becomes the most fleshed out. So I can rail on CE all night. But yeah, I just don't think it's as fun. And, you know, it's old. You know, it's ill-balanced. It's kind of clusterfucky. You know, the map design is dated, and the weapon play is... I mean, CE features one of the single most devastating metas in the Halo franchise, and that's the CE Magnum experience. The CE Magnum is unparalleled in its just complete control over the gameplay experience. So it's got flaws. I appreciate it. I appreciate it for what it is. I appreciate its launch of the franchise, and many of its you know, its gameplay elements became foundational for future Halo games. Oh man, I was hoping that was going to be the one. But I don't think it's some perfect golden age game like some people do. Ruby asks, do you think Halo 3 aged well? Do I think Halo 3 aged well? Graphically, yes. I think Halo 3 holds its own from a visual perspective. You know, 14 years later. Gameplay-wise, I think it's aged as well as it could. A lot of Halo fans don't want to admit this, but Halo's brand, or I would say Halo 3's brand of shooter experience, this arena shooter, boomer shooter, if you will, is dated. That is no longer the modern FPS experience. And even back in 2007, Halo's FPS experience was niche. Even 14 years ago, the Halo experience was not the par standard. So, not only was it not the par standard when it was a top contender in its genre, we're 14 years out, and that niche of game that Halo is has just, you know, continued to slide down the rung. I think Halo 3, from a analytical perspective and from an observer's perspective, is probably one of the best representations of highly refined, highly versatile, and highly enjoyable boomer shooter experience. I think Halo 3 represents the magnum opus of what an arena shooter in that style can be. That does not make it a perfect game. In the same way where a sports car from the 70s is a great representation of sports cars from the 70s, that does not make it the best sports car in the 21st century. Does that make sense? I can't believe those guys let me... I can't believe they let me get away. So yeah, I think people who enjoy that brand of shooter will very much so enjoy Halo 3. And if they don't, they don't. I hope that answers your question. That was kind of a long... It was a half answer. I didn't give you a yes or a no. I gave you an Ascent Hyperion reply. Hopefully it satisfies you. There's a different game that's very much like that, and I'm trying to think in my head, what's another game that's a great historical flagship. Ooh, drive! I pressed my Halo 3 buttons. He says kinda. I see your point. I'm being honest. I don't think you're gonna give Halo 3 to a 14-year-old now, and they're not gonna latch to it like, you know, I did when I was 14. Or I guess when I got Halo 3, I was, I don't know, I think I was maybe 11. When Halo 3 was new. I just don't think you're gonna hook kids the same way, because the universe of gaming has changed. Gaming as a scene is different. You know, what people are interested in has changed. And I don't think gamers realize this, but this was the same story in 2007 when Halo 3 was new. Halo 3 represented a change in what was popular in gaming, right? And there were people that were, old then who saw Halo 3 as like that's their Fortnite, you know. For some gamers, Halo Reach is their Fortnite. And for Halo Reach kids, Fortnite is their Fortnite. Does that make sense? So sometimes we give too much nostalgia praise to games. I think it's sometimes better to appreciate them for what they were in the moment without adding on this caveat that for the game to still be good, it has to be that level of hype in modern day. So again, I'm convoluting it a little bit. I'm making it more complicated than it needs to be, but that's how I feel. That's my response to you. Halo Reach is a funny thing to talk about, man. I remember very vividly, man, I mean, Halo CE and Halo 2 fans, and even Halo 3 fans, for them, Halo Reach represented the death of Halo. For some people, Halo Reach meant Halo was, like, ruined. People were devastated by what Halo had become with Reach. And that's not the case anymore, man. Halo Reach is like, God, the Reach days and all my Reach experience, and now real Halo fans are the Reach kids. Think about that. It's all perspective. Time changes all things. I think the quote is, "This too shall come to pass." Nothing is permanent. All things are temporary. Did you see the game not give me the kill for that guy? It didn't pop up on the feed. How'd that guy do all that shooting and not lower the enemy's shields? Halo 3 in its prime was already niche. Yes, exactly. I don't know. You don't have to tell me your age or give me your background. I'm not going to gatekeep you. But I think if you were around back then and you had your eyes open, you were paying attention, Halo 3, or Halo in general, was always, third on the list. You know what I'm saying? Like it was COD, Battlefield, and then Halo. Because Halo as a gameplay experience is not as accessible and not as open-ended as those other games, you know. Halo always existed in a gameplay niche. It has a really loyal fan base and a really committed fan base, and it did sell a lot, you know. Halo 3 especially, but you know, it was never number one. Not how people try to remember it to be. So that's why people always, they talk about, oh, the glory days and this and that. I'm like, you know the meme where it's the guy like celebrating and he's yelling and he's pouring champagne on himself like he won the race, and then the image zooms out and he's in third. That's the Halo, like that's the Halo fan base. Oh man. Halo 3 did good at its launch, but over time it tapered. Especially when you're talking about the multiplayer experience, Halo 3 did well on its custom games, and that was always a big selling point of Halo 2. We should point that out for sure. One thing that got people in the Halo often was the custom game scene. That was something that was kind of unique to Halo. Forge and the variability of the game type settings made custom games a big selling point for Halo. But as time went on, you know, it gave way, especially as, you know, when you talk about, now you have to start considering the rise of YouTube gaming. COD became a really big front runner in having these, you know, these massive presences online, and Halo's presence was often defined not by its gameplay but as its more campy aspects, like machinima or like jokey videos or things like that. So I don't know. I'm not saying Halo was like an indie game. I just think people forget that, you know, it wasn't it wasn't insanity. But aren't niche games good since they provide the special flavor? I never said it was bad. There's nothing bad about that. People confuse. It's like when people like talk about, oh, this is a dead game because it's not #1 on Twitch. What? Like what? You know, the quality of a game is not defined by how much it sells. It's not defined by how many people are fucking streaming it. You know, it's not defined by the size of the largest content creator. The quality of the game is the quality of the game. The product is defined by the product. We add these weird, you know, top-down views on games. We say, oh, dead game or failed game or flop or blah, 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 blah. We're so obsessed with saying if this game is not the best selling, if this game is not the top streamed, it's somehow a failure. It's somehow a bad game. Like, when did we start with that mentality? Because that doesn't make any sense to me. You know, they only sell how many McLarens every year? Is McLaren a failed car brand because they sell less than Toyota? No. You know, McLaren is a luxury brand. You know, how many Toyotas do you have to sell to make the same money one McLaren makes? You know, quality is not defined by volume. I think we make that mistake a lot. You talk about niche games. And fucking look at Fortnite, man. Fortnite came out swinging at a niche inside a niche. Fortnite has a niche BR experience inside BR, which is kind of like, that was like a blooming game type, you know, a game experience. And now Fortnite is easily one of the most popular games that have ever existed. So there's nothing wrong with niche. So let's see. We'll do one more session with this group of people, and then we'll rotate out again. Everybody move your sticks. Raptor says, well, I'll be streaming E3. No, Raptor, I won't be streaming E3 or the Xbox conference, any of that stuff. I'll be watching it in the comfort of my room. You guys have the option to do the same. Hey, Sunshine, you gotta move your controller, buddy. So we can keep moving. Otherwise, I gotta kick you. You don't want me to kick you, do you? My father was a bit of a Halo player. Are there still some of the same people playing since the stream started? No, I think we had a full rotation earlier. I am gonna have to go ahead and kick Sunshine though. After this next match, I'll do a rotation. We'll do one more set of people and then we'll keep it going. It also helps, so like TGE kind of, TGE jogs an important thing I should mention. When you talk about the popularity of Halo or COD or Battlefield in that 2007 to, we'll say 2012 time frame, the pool of games, the gaming sphere was much smaller. When you're talking about your high contenders in the FPS genre, I mean, it was defined, on console at least, by Halo, COD, and Battlefield. The story now is different. Gaming is extremely expansive. There are a lot of titles in a given genre. And thanks to crossplay and the rise of PC gaming becoming, highly accessible, what defined a game as big is no longer the same. Gamers have so much more to play now. So I think people kind of forget that too, is that gaming used to be a smaller world. Because now, when you really think about it, thanks to crossplay and thanks to multi-platforming games, for a long time when you would talk about CS:GO and you would talk about Halo, you would talk about them separately because they're on two separate platforms. Now CS:GO and Halo are on the same platform. Now we have to talk about those player bases as one, because it's a first-person shooter game that technically anybody can have access to. It's no longer limited. That changes things majorly, because CS:GO, was and still is one of the most popular PC gaming experiences. And now people either you have access to Halo on your PC. What if you're a big League of Legends player? Well, League of Legends is one of the most popular games in the world. So now more time, chances are you're going to put more time in the League. You put less time into Halo. Does that make Halo a lesser game? So the world of Halo, or the world of gaming, has become very globalized and... Oh! Good stick, dickhead. Raptor asked me kind of a long question. I was going to read it while I was dead, but then I got distracted because I have a lizard brain, so... it's just now, like, really tuning in with me that we're playing Elite Slayer. I didn't really notice it until just now. Power to that guy. He challenged me with the plasma repeater. Hey, Hyperion, I was wondering about your Spartan helmet because I noticed it's from the new look of the Spartan armor, and Infinite's going back to the old style. I was wondering what you would wear instead. I don't know. I don't know what I'll wear in Halo Infinite because the game's not out yet. Truthfully, I'll probably just keep the same, like, persona. I don't think the Cinder helmet will make it to Halo Infinite. But it's fine. In a similar way where people kind of identify the Photos helmet with Spearhead, my hope is that if I continue using the Cinder helmet as my branding, people will just identify it with Ascent Hyperion. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll see the Cinder helmet, you'll think Ascent Hyperion, and people won't ask questions past that. I don't plan on replacing my branding or anything like that, per se. I might update my branding a little bit when Infinite comes out, because I've been using the same like icon and stuff since 2017, I think. but it won't be anything major, I don't think. Only time will tell. Why do you hate for Halo? Honest question. Yeah. Foge. Yeah, Halo is game. Game bad Halo. Much anger, much kill. Hey, do you think Halo would have been way bigger than had CE been Xbox Live enabled? I mean, that's a good question. Would Halo had been bigger if it was? Well, I think it would have only had been as big as the Xbox was. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter if it's Xbox Live enabled, it's still only going to have as many players as there are people playing the Xbox, you know? I think Halo 2 did that for Halo, like that was its immersion into multiplayer. But here's perspective. Here's a really big perspective for you. Halo 2 had an increased emphasis on competitive multiplayer. And at the time, this is something a large amount of Halo fans disliked, because they believed Halo's multiplayer was never meant to be serious. It was meant to be, you know, couch gaming. It was meant to be buddies messing around, shooting, driving. It was never meant to be ultra competitive. Halo 2, with its, you know, matchmaking applicability and its kind of more aggressive sandbox, gave it the multiplayer experience that we understand now to be Halo. But this was contested back in the day. People were not happy about that. So what you really have to wonder is what would have happened to Halo if Halo 2 was not competitive? What if Halo 2 did not develop a competitive Halo scene? You know, where would the franchise have been then? So I don't think Halo CE having Xbox Live would have changed that much. I still think it would have came down to Halo 2. Do I wish Bungie was back making Halo games or not, because Bungie might have lost its way? Who asked this question? Omer, let me clue you in on something a lot of people don't want you to know. The Bungie who made Halos 1 through Reach, a lot of them went on to work at a company called 343 Industries, who would go on to make the games Halo 4 and Halo 5. A lot of people have this misconception that everybody who made Halos 1 through Reach dipped out and then made Destiny. That is not the case. In fact, a lot of the people who made Destiny were new to Bungie. It was almost a new Bungie that made Destiny. That's not to say that there aren't people still working at the current Bungie who also worked on Halo. I think it's an acknowledgement of the fact that there's a lot of people who work at 343 who also used to work at Bungie. So you asked me the question, would I want Bungie to be back? No, because the current Bungie, they make Destiny. And Destiny has, without contest, one of the worst, and I say it with a capital W, one of the fucking worst PvP experiences you can get in modern day. If you gave me the choice between Destiny 2 PvP and literally running my entire arm through a saw and cutting it in half, I would run my entire body through the saw, just to make sure I had no chance of ever playing PvP in Destiny ever again. And that is the motherfucking T. So no, I don't want them making Halo ever again. Hopefully that answers your question. What beer am I drinking? None. I'm actually nothing. I have a little bit of a Red Bull left, but I've not been drinking any beer tonight. Wish I was. Alrighty, current team, thank you guys for playing. If I could have you guys drop out, we're going to rotate in the last kind of group of people here. We'll play a couple matches. This man hates Destiny. No, I actually love Destiny. Destiny has one of my favorite art styles in gaming. I love the Destiny narrative, the music, the environments. I am a huge Destiny fan. In fact, I have a Destiny art book on my... You guys can't see my full life display over here, but I have a Destiny art book. Much like Halo, I'm not above critiquing Destiny, as you just heard. I can like it as much as I want. I'm not above setting it right. Okay. Let's get some new people in here. Who wants to play Halo? Drop your gamer tags below. Let's see them. If anybody wants to join, I'm looking down at my screen. I'm looking at the chat. How is Destiny's PvP bad? Oh, man. While I send invites, I won't spend like an whole hour talking about this because I could. I'll try to be concise. As I send invites out. Destiny's PvP is arranged in such a way where it has completely surrendered to unintentional meta. And what that represents to me is a complete disregard for actual game design. Designed meta is something I've talked about a couple times on the channel. And I think when I talked about the degradation and the revival of the Magnum in Halo, something important that I pointed out is that the revival of the Magnum represented a designed meta. Halo CE, for example, had an unintentional meta. The CE Magnum was never intended to be the end-all weapon. As time went on, Halo games were developed with a meta in mind. By the time we got to Halo 5, the Halo 5 Magnum was extremely curated to be the weapon that the gameplay revolves around. In Destiny, each season, the stats on weapons change and the way weapons function changes. And there's no consideration for how weapon A is going to play against weapon B. In Halo, weapon A might be a little better than weapon B. In Destiny, weapon A is so much better than weapon B that a user with weapon B has absolutely no chance of competing. That to me represents tremendous flaw. And that's just in regards to the weaponry. You then start to factor in class abilities, supers, movement. Everybody is essentially playing with a different set of ways to kill each other. And it'd be one thing if those ways to kill each other were kind of on equal bases. But if you're familiar with Stasis, a subclass in Destiny, the disparity becomes obscene. I mean, it's to the point where it's almost comedy that PvP is allowed to just run rampant. It's baffling to me that a game with so much diversity in weapon experience, so much diversity in player ability, does not the stuff is cool for PvE. It's not translated into PvP. It's just allowed to, ram right into it. And you're just not going to get a quality experience doing that. I honestly don't think you will. So, that is my extremely mean, honest evaluation of PvP in Destiny. It's tragic to me, and I'm so passionate about it, because I think Destiny has the potential to have one of the most diverse and interesting PvP experiences because it has such a rich weapon sandbox. It's a rich combat experience. But because it's not curated for PvP, it's literally pouring diamonds down the drain. So hopefully that answers your guys' question. That's what I think about Destiny PvP. Who else we've got? Oh, Adjusted Bongo is the one I didn't invite. So I don't know. You know, maybe you guys, you're free to disagree with me. You're free to like Destiny's PvP. I don't really care either way. But, you know, maybe today, if you're a Destiny player, take some time thinking tonight about how constricted you are in the PvP experience to follow the ever-changing accidental meta. Think about how much more diverse the gameplay experience could be if you had access to the hundreds of weapons in that game. Think about how much more fun you would have if there wasn't somebody who was curating a meta to completely trump your ability to play the game. Because at the highest levels of Destiny PvP, the metas are game-breaking. They're devastating. So that's food for thought. Is this everybody who requested to join? I think so. Antimatter said something bad. Oh no. Hyperion, why is sprint an industry standard now in the FPS genre? I know it's already been talked to death, but I feel like it killed Halo's newer titles. Just one of the many reasons. My response kind of starts and stops at this. I don't think sprint's a big deal. I think people's aggressions towards sprint are ill-placed. Often when someone is talking about why they dislike sprint, what they're really talking about is the fallout effect of something different. Sprint isn't necessarily normally the major culprit, it's just the scapegoat. So that's kind of where I fall on that. Does not have entitlement to play this game. Who doesn't have Halo installed? Okay, they left. Excuse me. I usually don't talk about sprint in my videos because often the issue someone is getting at is defined by a different change. It's just one of those things I think has been nuanced to death. It's kind of disappointing in a way because I feel like it's holding us back from having a lot more different conversations. I'm trying to think of a really good one. I want to get like a good hard-hitting one to discuss. So for example, people often like to mention that sprint changed your combat readiness in Halo. I think a sort of interesting argument I saw some time ago is that someone said, well, sprint made it so if you wanted to, initiate a fight and you were sprinting, well, now you have to wait. Which, in its own regard, is an interesting observation. To call it a major issue, I think is exacerbation. I think it's a product of the movement being a little different, but it's not breaking the gameplay formula. Because the fight that happens after you disengage your sprint is still the same type of fight that you would have gotten without sprint. You're still going to be fully utilizing the golden triangle, most likely. You're still going to be reliant on your extended abilities for health and recovery, and you're still going to be trying to outmaneuver your opponent. If anything, relenting on using your sprint, choosing to not use it when you're near a combat situation, is a factor of your mobility in the dance that is Halo. It's a conscious decision that you are making in regards to your ability to maneuver in a fight. You guys will notice, or potentially you'll notice when I play games like Halo 4 or Halo 5 or Reach that have sprint, when I get close to a fight environment, I don't engage my sprint as much because I want my weapon at the ready. That's a choice about my maneuverability. To that same extent, a player can use sprint as an extension of their mobility. They can sacrifice that 1 or 2 milliseconds of weapon readiness and try to get a different position on me. That's an extension of the movement mechanics that define a fight in Halo. It's just more maneuvering to me. To call it an issue, I think, is improper. To acknowledge it's different, sure, that's correct. But different doesn't mean bad. So, that's where I stand on that. Again, maybe closer to a half answer to the original question, but an honest reply on the spot. I think another common one is people kind of mention, oh, you know, sprint changes map size. In the Blood Gulch video, I point out that a really important facet of a fight in Halo is the distance at which you can have that fight. For example, if this was COD, I could stand here and that guy would have been dead, right? Like I could have shot him twice in the head and that would have been the end of it. Because he was just standing still. I stood still there because I took my hand off the controller. Fight distance is extremely crucial. What actually happened in these later games is that weapons got better at performing at range, and in order to compensate for the wider fight distance weapons can have, the maps had to bloat a little bit. So like you literally weren't just spawning in and shooting in a straight line and getting kills. People blame sprint for the change in map size. If anything, what you have to blame is the increased ability of weapons to perform reliably at range. So that's a take. You can choose. It's like this is like an Ascent Hyperion video, right? I'm telling you this is what happened. You can believe it if you want, but it's just food for thought. I think what you really have to consider is that in later games, fighting at distance got easier, so the distances on a map had to be increased. I don't know what my melee is in this game. I pressed B and RB at the same time to make sure I didn't whiff it. Like, think about, like, I just reliably pinged that guy. That fight lasted maybe 2 seconds? In Halo 3, that would have, I wouldn't have been confident in making that play. You're like, look at that. I'm lasering people in this game, right? Because the fight distance is so turned up. So yeah, I'm trying to look at the comments now. If anything, I was just talking about sprint as an extension of mobility. In certain games, I like sprint as an extension of mobility because it allows you to achieve certain maneuvers that you couldn't before, making certain jumps or plays because of the momentum that sprint gives you as compared to normal walking. And I appreciate that extension of the mobility facet of Halo's dance, because it's an element of gameplay that didn't really change that much in the first 3 Halo games. So whenever it got its extensions, that might have been why people freaked out about it so much, because they weren't used to changes in it. The weapons are better at longer distances because of sprint. The guns had to be made more accurate in order to make hitting faster targets possible. I really don't think so. To say the weapons got more accurate because of sprint is again placing blame on sprint where it's not needed. Weapons got more accurate because 343 took some steps to reduce the gap in the meta. We talked about this in the BR video a little bit. The meta in Halo is usually kind of defined by a performance gap. In order to reduce that gap, players have to be comfortable using a multitude of weapons. And the easiest way to do that in Halo is provide players with a wider swath of reliable weapons. I use the word reliable a lot because, you know, I don't know, let's say like if I had an AR in my hand, I can't reliably fight that guy. You know what I'm saying? He's all the way over there. There's no way I'm getting him. A BR would be great. So I'd go for BR. BR becomes the meta. BR is highly reliable. I can fight comfortably at range A and range B. By adding more weapons that perform comfortably, that perform reliably, you lessen the effect of the meta. You make it feel like there's more viable weapons. In Halo, the easiest way to do that is to make weapons more accurate, to make them cover better distance. Ooh, ooh. I just got hologrammed. And yeah, you just give the player more confidence with the gun. Halo 5 especially did this. Halo 5 achieved we'll use the word balance in quotes. Achieved a balance that was kind of defined by the fact that, or the assumption, that any weapon you pick up, oh, thanks. Any weapon you pick up, you can enter a fight with it. I think Halo 5 was kind of built on this idea, this rhetoric, that if a player has a gun, they should be able to challenge any other player with a gun of the same tier. But in order to do that, every gun has to get really reliable. It has to get really accurate. It has to damage really consistently. So, placing that blame on sprint again is ill. I think that's ill-fated. Now, heavy aim in Halo 5, that's closer related to sprint. And not just sprint, but that's closer related to extended mobility. Heavy aim is a compensation for jerky movement in Halo 5, which could have potentially interrupted the fight experience. Ironically, heavy aim just provides a different modification of the fight experience than you would have gotten without heavy aim. But I think if you were going to attribute a change to sprint, heavy aim is kind of the one you're looking at. Heavy aim, you think like aim assist. You played Halo 5. If you look at a guy and he moves a little bit, the game is automatically gonna like follow him for you. Some players don't notice it, and for some players is extremely devastating because some people are really used to having to have finite control over their player. Every little meticulous movement, some players are in tune with it. Some players aren't, so heavy aim just kind of feels like, oh yeah, I'm fucking nailing this guy. In reality, the game is helping you stay on target a little bit. It's kind of like a handicap. Thrusters than sprint. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I was saying, if we're going to attribute a change of any kind to sprint and the extended mobility like boost kind of are things that generate heavy aim. I don't think any other major changes can be attributed to sprint. At least not the really big ones that people complain the most about. But yeah, I might have missed that person. Whoever asked the question, I'm sure they're not convinced. I could tell that they had their own ideas going into this. Which is fine, you know, whatever. Everybody thinks something about something. but for anybody that was curious about their question and my answer, that's what I would tell you. I'm just gonna get this mantis killed. Let me see some of the comments here. Does more damage than good for me in terms of aim. Yeah, Jordan, just as I was talking about Jordan, some people like heavy aim, it's good. It's good for them. You know, they enjoy it. For other people, it's off-putting. It's taking away control from the player, which is it's a frustrating feeling. You know, it's frustrating to not have ultimate control over all your actions. I agree with that. As someone who actually doesn't mind heavy aim, I don't dislike it. I think it's a necessary evil when you're talking about a game with as much unpredictable motion as Halo 5. But that doesn't mean it's perfect. I know your opinion on whether the Halo Infinite art style is blended, but I want to ask, do you think the gameplay is a blended experience? I don't know enough about the gameplay to say anything about that. A different content creator would give you an answer, but the Ascent Hyperion answer is what gameplay? I haven't played it. So I wish I could give you an answer, but I don't think anybody has the right to say if the gameplay is blended yet. At least no content creators do, because nobody fucking knows, you know what I'm saying? No one's played the game yet. Someone mentioned bullet magnetism. Yeah, bullet magnetism is a little different. Bullet magnetism is the game being a little forgiving. When you miss a shot. Basically, you shoot a guy. If it would have otherwise gone past his head, instead it kind of like, you know, it clips him, it gets him. People like to claim bullet magnetism is bad. I think it can be bad in the right light. I think it's just sort of, you know, in many ways bullet magnetism is a small grace. You know what I'm saying? It's a small account for differences in networking. It's a small adjustment for, you know, the microscopic changes in motion that a controller can't make. You think about a mouse, you can get really finite with a mouse. You can't get that finite with a controller. So it has negatives and positives. You know, many things are like that. I don't really have an opinion either way, truthfully. I think it does good things and it does bad things when it's present. And if you were to take it out, that would equal good things and it would also equal bad things. So, win for losing, lose for winning. Now, if you're playing with a mouse and there's bullet magnetism, that almost, you know, it might trend on the realm of being unfair. But depends on who you ask. Do you think that the turrets in the game could be buffed to be viable in any way? Like the pickup turrets? Buffed? I mean, to buff the turrets... Here's the thing about turrets in Halo. They exist kind of in a tier limbo. Weapons in Halo are organized by tiers 1, 2, and 3, with the weakest weapons being tier 1, and the strongest weapons, typically weapons capable of consistent insta-killing, or multi-kills, being in tier 3. To make the turrets stronger would be to design them to fit in as either tier 2 or tier 3 power weapons. Right now, turrets are kind of a niche of the vehicle class. They're kind of like a sandbox toy. So the question you have to ask before you ask, do we buff turrets, is, okay, do we want turrets to be power weapons? Because from there it changes. Because from there we get to ask questions like, okay, turret's a power weapon. The Oni turret from Halo 5 has explosive rounds. That's gimmicky. Extra vehicle damage, splash damage against players. That's tier 2, tier 3 material. What's designed for it? Right now it's kind of like a toy. So, to answer your question in totality, nice! I would say if you want turrets to be stronger, they have to be designed as map pickups, not toys in the sandbox. How about that? Does that work for you? Does that answer your question? Are we in OT? I'm proud of that answer. I feel like that's probably the most concise answer I gave. I've given all night, truthfully. If I can just go back to the turret question, I personally am fine with turrets being toys. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the sandbox including gimmicky stuff. It's not damaging the game to have turrets. As toy items, they represent a very variable shakeup to the gameplay experience. There's nothing inherently negative about that, so. Who asked that question? Hopefully that answers. It was Donnie Sheldon. Do you like Capture the Flag as a mode, or do you think it's a relic from an older age? Capture the Flag is fine. Is there something we can play with 5 people? Is there something else we can play? Looks like we're gonna do a little infection to end the night. Excuse me. Son, what's your thoughts on RVB? I don't watch Red vs. Blue. I never was a big fan of Red vs. Blue. I watched like the fights when they came out because those were cool. Because Monty Oum is an animation god, but from a story perspective, I was never that invested in it. I think Red vs. Blue in modern day. So let me put it like this: the one like season of Red vs. Blue that I've watched all the way through was the one where they introduced the character Felix, like up through introducing him up until they find out he's like a bad guy, right? And they like defeat him or something like that. They save that colony. I've watched that season. And when I take that story and then I look at like their most recent thing that's like randomized bullshit, like some fantasy stuff, I think Red vs. Blue has this modern problem right now where it wants to have a story that isn't confined to Halo, but the method by which they tell the story is through Halo. It's kind of like you want a sports car, so you buy a truck chassis and you buy the body of a sports car and you put it on the truck chassis. You might have a sports chassis, or you might have a sports body, but you still have a truck chassis. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might look like what you want, but you're not actually the real thing. So, I don't know. It just seems apparent to me they want to do more with the IP, but they're just kind of locked into having it being Halo related. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my take on Red versus Blue. These poor infected are just not having a good time, man. Why don't you have CE2 into the playlist? I'm on my PC. I'm on Steam, and I don't have them installed on PC, just because I don't. I just haven't installed them yet. I have everything installed on Xbox. I've slowly been switching over to only playing Halo on PC. I used to do all my playing and recording on Xbox, but kind of as over the past year here, I've kind of made the switch to like basically only playing my PC for gaming. I turn my Xbox on every now and again for a game. Fuck, what do I play on the Xbox still? I was forging on Halo 5 recently, but that's pretty much it. My Xbox doesn't get much love nowadays. I'll install them one day. I actually just so part of why I didn't have them installed is because I didn't have space on my hard drive. My hard drive was filling up. But for my birthday last year, my close buddy actually he bought me a 2 terabyte hard drive for my birthday, which was great. So just the other day, actually, I got up early before I went out. I go biking in the morning. Before I went out for my bike ride, I moved MCC over to the 2 terabyte drive. So now I should have space to install the other games. I was just scraping for space before. Good save, whoever that was. Running riot. Hey, I got a Hell's Jerome. It has been some years since I heard that medal called out. Infected, not having a good time. Yeah, well, so I would complain all the time. I couldn't do anything on my PC because my hard drive was filled up. And I just wouldn't buy. Yeah, I'm not the type of guy who buys things normally. Like, I'm not a big... I don't really buy stuff for myself normally. So I was putting off buying a new hard drive forever. I would just delete stuff and try to make space, and so I couldn't play any games with my friends because none of my close friends play on Xbox anymore. They all play on PC. I couldn't play anything with them because I couldn't download anything. So finally, he was like, "Here's the hard drive. Now you can play some damn games with us." So yeah, that was nice of him. That was real bro. Oh god, I just got saved. I was looking at the chat. Whoever saved me, you're a hero, bro. Being pissed with you for changing the infection maps during the reaches later years because I couldn't camp in the iconic spots. Oh my god, we just had a conversation about the word iconic earlier. So I once, a very long time ago, had a disagreement with Xanivids about whether or not camping ruined infection. Because I made an infection map in Halo 5, and the whole point of the map is that you couldn't camp on it. It was supposed to force flow. And Xani said that, well, it was bad because camping is what makes infection fun. And I was like, camping is what ruins infection. It makes it stagnant and slow, and hell on the infected. So, as you can see, I'm just camping. You know, I don't have to go anywhere because I've got the high ground. I've got the Magnum. Look, they've got my back. The infected have no chance of getting behind me. Like, this is just terrible. This is terrible design. You know what I'm saying? This is just unfair. Think linear maps that open doors over time. Yeah, linear infection maps. Some of the old heads around here know. Some of the oldest Hyperion subscribers, if there's anybody here, they know. Back in the day, I got to test plenty of linear infection maps in Halo 5. Some really good ones. I have that linear infection map by Keyloker memorized, basically. Yeah, linear infection maps are probably some of the coolest things to come out of H2A and Halo 5. What? Ah.
New zombie.
To reach forging. That's fine. After spending so many years forging on Halo 5, I honest to God, I cannot tolerate using forge in the older games now. It's totally ruined for me.
Round over.
Forging in the older Halos is so much like once you're like a pro Halo 5 forger, it's insane how different the workflow is.
Infection.
Escape the underground, those are cool. Yeah, that guy made a killing. If that guy was making money off maps, that dude would be rich. The Escape series. It was Escape the Underground. Escape, what, the UFO was another really popular one. There was another one that was always really big. Hey there, Phantom Kippy. Welcome to the stream. Stream cream. Team stream cream. Ultra cream stream. Team. Escape the mansion. Maybe that's what it was. Do you think the SMG would have had a place in Infinite Sandbox? Seems like it'd be redundant with the AR and the Bulldog. You know, that's a good question. I don't know why it'd be redundant with the Bulldog, since that's a shotgun. So here's the big word. Redundancy, right? What you have to enter this conversation with is an understanding of where you personally stand with
Double kill.
how unique each weapon in Halo should be. There are some people that believe that each weapon should have a purely unique function, and any weapon that does not should not be included. And there's people who are pro, clusterfuck sandbox. They don't care if there's a million repeats of one weapon. They're down for whatever. I personally don't mind redundancy. I think redundancy of weapons is fine in that it still allows variability is the word I want to use. Using an AR and an SMG yields different combat experiences. You approach a fight with an AR and an SMG differently. That difference might be minute, but it's still not identical. I don't think the SMG is redundant to the point where it needs to be excluded. I think it has to fight hard to have a place in the weapon sandbox. And as far as I've observed, I think Halo 5 has the best version of the SMG as a standalone item. For years, the SMG suffered by the limitations put on it by dual wielding. And it's the only weapon, aside from the Magnum, to not only recover from the age of dual wielding, but to thrive. And it's sad that it only got to do that in one game. The Halo 5 SMG has this function as the punch assist, is what I'm going to call it. Whenever I have an SMG in my hand, my combat thought is to say fire, punch. I'm entering this fight with the assumption I'm gonna lay out a couple shots and just slam this guy in the face. With the AR, I'm more comfortable with hanging back. I'm more comfortable with taking that fight at a distance. With the SMG, not so much, because I'm expecting that punch to come around. So I think that was a cool little change with the SMG. It makes you a very aggressive player. The SMG requires you to bare your fangs and be like, I'm getting the fuck in this fight. I think the plasma rifle in Halo 5 had a similar effect. The plasma rifle really made you want to get up there and just rail a dude in the forehead. So, minute differences, small redundancy can yield different results. So, that's where I stand. Should it be in the game? Should it not be in the game? Hell if I know. But I don't think it's beyond saving, to answer your question. I have a bias. I think an extremely curated sandbox is boring. I think it lends itself to repetition, to stagnation. There is a lot of value in just saying, okay, the AR and the plasma repeater, this isn't real. Let's just say the AR and plasma repeater are the same thing. They might do basically the same thing, but at least I feel like something's different. Perception is important. To me at least. Feeling like there's versatility and variability in my fight, I think, is key to the experience. So, that's kind of the answer to your question, and then my bias in terms of the redundancy conversation. Ooh, my fucking right eye started twitching like crazy. I gotta pull it back this round. I was killing it last game, not so much this one. Rex just stopped. He scared me. I'm trying to check the chat, but I'm also trying to not die. That being said, I don't think the SMG is going to make it to infinite. I think it's going to be one of the weapons that gets dropped from Halo 5, which will suck, because I think 343 did a good job bringing the SMG into prominence. And at the least, I'm happy that it did get a game where it wasn't Sideshow Bob. It was on its own. And there's value in that. Oh, you lucky bitch. So Hyperion, what are your expectations on Halo Infinite's Forge? My only hope right now for Halo Infinite's Forge is that it has everything Halo 5's Forge did, and that it actually works 100% of the time. Halo 5 has plenty of stuff, it just doesn't work. If Halo Infinite could have Halo 5 and it work all the time, and then some better textures and materials for items, fine, I don't care. That's great to me. Otherwise, I don't care. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm giving you some stream burps. My bad. Alright. We'll probably do one more match here, y'all, and then I'll call it for the night. There's still 5 of us. Okay. Is there action? Let's see what action set gives us. Oh, there's 6 of us. Get ready for whatever this last disaster the game puts us in. This is a long stream. I don't normally stream this long, but... Do you think the AR could do well as the utility weapon, as the anchor for balancing? I believe that it should replace the mag/BR and also be even with the mag, balanced by bloom versus mag headshots. I think the AR should be as good as it is in Halo 5. I think the Halo 5 AR represents the upper threshold of a usable AR without being meta-defining. I think at the end of the day, there has to be some level of curated experience. There has to be some level of this is better than that. Halo 5 to me represents kind of the upper limit, if not just a little bit above, having the AR be the competent performer. I think in any given fight in Halo 5, if the AR is what's in your pocket, you're not screwed. If the AR is all you have in your pocket in Halo 3, and you come across a BR user, there's no way in hell. But in Halo 5, you come across a BR user with an AR in your pocket, you might just pull it off. In fact, there's a strong chance you might pull it off. I think that's the balance that I'm looking for. There's nothing wrong with the Magnum being the meta. There's nothing wrong with one weapon being the skill performer. As long as what's pocketed is useful, I'm satisfied. I enjoyed that about Halo 5, is that I always felt confident picking up anything and just knowing, like, I can get a guy with this. I can knock a dude out with this. I might not get a killing spree. I might not get an instant triple. But with the Storm Rifle, I can challenge. I can challenge this guy. Now, to some people, no, display that! To some people, that represents a break in the Halo gameplay experience. In my humble opinion, if Halo 5's gameplay to you means the experience is broken, to me what that says is that you have mistaken the age of the BR as the designation as what all Halo gameplay should be. I think people... That's part of why I made that video about, is Halo 3 better without the BR? It's an acknowledgement to the fact that the BR meta is limiting on the sandbox experience. I think some people confuse that limitation with intention. They just assume every weapon in Halo is supposed to be garbage and only the BR should be good, because that's what they're used to. I don't think Halo has to be limited to just that. So it'd be nice to see Halo Infinite retain some of that ideology that says, okay, there's more than one weapon in this sandbox and you should be able to use it. People like to say that playable elites were scrapped from Halo Infinite, but what are your thoughts? I think they were never planned to be playable in the first place. Yeah, I don't understand people's obsession with playable elites. I don't support Halo furries. No, I'm kidding. That's not the actual. That's not the actual reason. I don't think. I mean, okay, so this is a topic that I don't think has an objective answer. I think this is something that comes entirely down to opinion. I don't think you could sit here and give a hard and fast explanation as to why elites should or should not. It's going to come down to preference. I do think people have made it into a bigger deal than it actually is. Playable elites were present, I guess, in 3 Halo games. So they're sort of important. But there's other things that were present in multiple Halo games that we don't have now, like armor abilities and dual wielding and certain weapons and certain vehicles, and I don't know. Those are things related to gameplay. To me, those represent more important changes. Playable elites are kind of just an aesthetic thing. So, I don't know. I put a poll, I think on 1 Minute Halo, I put a poll out, and I was like, how many of you use playable elites? And it was like a tiny number, right? I don't really care about playable elites. I think you need an anchor gun that is the go-to weapon and face of the game, like Counter-Strike and the AK/M4. Well, Halo has it's based on loadouts, not loadouts. It's based on loadouts is the word, but it's based on everybody is spawning with the same guns. So Halo is more so defined by what's the meta, not so much what you spawn with each time. It's kind of coincidental that often in each Halo game you get to spawn with the meta, so they kind of become one and the same. I don't think anybody, like, you don't talk about Halo and the first gun that comes to mind is the Spiker, right? Because it's not a spawn weapon, it's not a meta weapon. So I think your concept of anchor weapon is probably most associated with whatever the meta in that game is. That's going to be what people think about the first. And in many, in at least 3 Halo games, it's the BR. In Reach, it's the DMR. In Halo 5, it's the Magnum. In Halo CE, it's the Magnum. From a multiplayer perspective. I don't know why I went to reload. I had a second rocket. Player customization isn't what makes me play a game, it's the enjoyment of the game and the story. Yeah, I mean, some people get into the game just for cosmetic reasons, and being an elite is really important to them. And I mean, hey, if they decide that no playable elites is a big enough reason for them to not buy the game, then hey, it's their money, whatever. I support voting with your wallet. If you guys were here last stream, you heard me talk about that. I honest to God think the best way you can express your opinion about anything is to buy or not buy something. Because money talks, bullshit walks. You don't like the game? Fucking don't pay for it. If enough people don't pay for it, guess what the people making the game have to do? They have to start paying attention to why people aren't buying their game. I talked about this. We talked about microtransactions. I'm like, people pretend to hate microtransactions, and then they buy them. If you're still buying microtransactions, they're still going to keep making them. Because money talks, bullshit walks. You know? So. I love Destiny. I love the Destiny series. I love the Destiny games. I'm not buying Beyond Light. I'm not paying that money for this much content? For a game that already had money put into it? No fucking way. I'm gonna play what I paid for. And I'm not giving them any money. You know? I'm not giving them what they're asking for because it's not worth it to me. You know, I'm voting with my wallet. So I always encourage people, flex your purchasing power a bit. Or don't, If you want to buy in it, if you want to give in and buy it, fuck, whatever, dude, it's your money. Do you. Need a meta that is not found by the players but is intended and balanced correctly. Yes, Ogre Drew is correct. Designed metas are important. Halo 5 is a completely curated and designed weapon meta. Probably one of the most curated metas in the franchise. And people hate it. Or not hate it, but some people, they have strong feelings about that. The BR meta is, especially in Halo 3, is a highly designed meta. The BR is constructed as the skill, the skill gap weapon. One way or the other. It's how that design is done that influences. It's how that design is constructed. The BR is designed to override. The BR is designed to control. In contrast to the Halo 5 Magnum, which I feel is designed to perform the most confidently. I think at the very end of the Rise of the Magnum video, I mentioned the Magnum exists against 4 competent precision weapons. The BR, the DMR, the carbine, and the light rifle. The Magnum has to exist within them. And it does that by being a confident and competent performer. It doesn't do it by having more damage. It doesn't do it by shooting faster. It doesn't do it by having exploding rounds or tracking rounds. It does it by being just the most reliable. Think about that. We're back to the conversation earlier about weapon reliability. The more reliable a weapon is, the more confident a player in Halo is going to be. And the more confident they are, the more they're going to use it in a fight. It's a simple modification to how a weapon functions that has massive, change for the player. So, yeah. We had some good conversations today. This is going to be the end of the stream. It's been 3 hours, which is considerably longer than I normally stream for. Let me switch over here and I'll say some closing thoughts here for the stream. So yeah, again, thank you guys for tuning in tonight for this very long stream. To kind of reiterate some questions I was asked, I will not be streaming the Xbox event or E3. Don't worry about tuning in to watch me do live reactions. I'm going to be watching it alone. Don't expect a video from me about what is shown unless it's substantial. Because in order to do my videos, I need a lot of information. And I often get that information from playing. And it's one thing to be able to play and make my observations, but just to go off video and to go off what's shared, I mean, that's hard. So you might not even see a video from me about what's shown in regards to Halo Infinite. Yeah. Otherwise, thanks for everybody who came out and played. This is going to go into my B-roll footage, so you guys might see your gamer tags pop up in videos to come. We got some good footage tonight. I think we got a couple dubs, a couple good plays on my end. So, and thank you for the questions. I think I will make a highlight video, kind of going through some of the questions and their answers. So, thanks for those as well. Let me look at the chat one more time. Yeah, let's do it. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.